In the last session, we knew about the basics of the heart. Today's session is right atrium. We'll start. Today's topic is right atrium. Right atrium, it is one of the four chambers of the heart. It receives the deoxygenated blood from IVC, SVC, and coronary sinus and empties the blood into the right ventricle. The right atrium is separated from left atrium by the intraatrial septum. The right atrium leads to the right ventricle through the tricuspid valve. What is right atrium made with? Right atrium it's made up of a smooth and a rough part that is made by pectinate muscles anteriorly and are separated by a vertical ridge that is called the crista terminalis that extends between the SVC and IVC, which brings venous blood into the smooth part of the atrium, right atrium. Pectinate muscle, they are useful in the increasing of the power of contraction and stretching when the atria dilates, and they prevent the displacement of the valve cusps. It also thought to help the spread of the electrical signals to contract the atria. Here we can see the crista terminalis. This is the crista terminalis. This is a smooth part of the right atrium. This is the pectinate muscle, and it is the intraatrial septum and the fossa ovalis. In this picture, we can see the SVC from the superior portion, that is the posterior region, and the right atrial appendage that is made up of with the pectinate muscle. This is the crista terminalis, which divides the smooth part and the rough part of the right atrium. What are the connections with the right atrium? One is the superior vena cava that carries the deoxygenated blood from upper part of the body, and it is connected to the right atrium in the superior part, and it is called a sinus venerum at the posterior wall of the right atrium. IVC carries the deoxygenated blood from lower parts of the body at the smooth part of right atrium, and it is posterior inferior to the entrance of the SVC. Coronary sinus. This is the coronary sinus. This carries oxygenated blood from heart muscles to right atrium and opens anterior to the opening of the inferior vena cava or IVC. What are the structures we can see in the right atrium and the normal variants we can see? One is the right auricle. It is a broad triangular muscular pouch that is visible on the exterior part of the heart. Its internal surface is made by muscular ridges that is called the pectinate muscles. It collects the deoxygenated blood from the bloodstream and moves it into the right ventricle. Eustachian valve. This is the Eustachian valve. It directs the blood from IVC towards the foramen ovale in and away from the tricuspid valve during fetal circulation, and it is also called as the IVC valve. Tebesian valve. It is the valve of the coronary sinus. It is a fold in the right atrium at the opening of the coronary sinus. It prevents the blood from flowing back to the coronary sinus during contraction of the heart. In majority of cases, eustachian valve and Tebesian valve disappears completely after birth or represented only as a eccentric fold. Chiari network. This is a mobile net-like structures that is occasionally seen in the right atrium near the opening of the inferior vena cava and the coronary sinus. The Chiari network is described as a reticulated network of fibers connected to the eustachian valve. It is identified as the embryological remnant of the right valve of the sinus venosus. It's an incidental finding without any significant pathophysiological consequences. The normal variant is the prominent pectinate muscle present known as the tenia sagittalis. What is the blood supply to the right atrium? The branches from right coronary artery, that is sinoatrial nodal artery, and the marginal arteries, those supplies the right atrium and the surfaces of the right atrium. What is the conduction system to the right atrium? The signal starts with the cells, that is SA node, which is located in the junction of the RA and SVC, that activates electrically coupled myocardium and also causing the both atrias to contract at once. Normal reference values of the right atrium. One is the right RA major axis diameters, that is around 3.4 to 5.3 centimeter, that is taken parallel to the IAS from the center of TV annular plane to central superior wall of the right atrium in the echocardiography. minor axis diameter, that is 2.6 to 4.4 centimeter. This is taken at the mid of right atrium perpendicular to the long axis from free wall to IAS, intraatrial septum. The normal values volume of the right atrium is 23 ml to 29 ml. Volume index is around 34 ml per meter square, and the RA end systolic area is 10 to 18 centimeter square. How to calculate the RA pressure? The normal RA pressure ranges between the 1 to 7 mmHg. It is calculated by the echocardiography. How means we have to measure the high VC. We have to open the high VC to its fullest, that the MO should be perpendicular to the vessel. We should measure the high VC from 1 to 2 centimeter away from the right atrium and high VC junction. We have to measure the inner to inner wall, and the abnormal cutoff is 2.1 centimeter. Depends on the IVC collapsibility and IVC size. We had the normal RA pressure, that is the normal is the 3 mmHg when the IVC size is normal, that is less than 2 centimeter, and the collapse is more than 50%. Intermediate, that is 8 mmHg. IVC size is normal and it is not collapsing. It's the collapsibility is around less than 50%. Intermediate, same 8 mmHg. The IVC size is abnormal, that is more than 2.1 centimeter, and collapsibility is more than 50%. High we will measure, that is the 15 mmHg. IVC is dilated and more than 2.1 centimeter. IVC collapsibility is less than 50%. What are the causes for right atrial enlargement? That is, one is the rise in the artery pressure, that is either due to aortic obstruction or pulmonary stenosis, pulmonary arterial hypertension, or anything. And another one is the valvular disease, tricuspid regurgitation, tricuspid stenosis in the Epstein's anomaly, and all. And in the congenital disease, that is the atrial septal defect, PAPVC or TAPVC, atrial fibrillation, and the dilated cardiomyopathy. These are the causes for the right atrial enlargement.